Today we are breaking down macros in the simplest way possible because so many women hear words like protein, carbs, fat, macros, logging your food, and immediately feel overwhelmed. But understanding macros will completely change your weight loss journey, especially for us ladies after 40. So ask the Lord for an open heart to change your mind about the way you eat and then lean in and let Him lead you. This is the hardest part of my teaching in the framework. Everyone says they want to eat what they want, lose weight until I tell them that they can. Then they freak out and doubt me. And many never achieve their goals because they believe society's lie that less is more when it comes to food. And it's just not the truth. So stay with me. I'm going to give you some really great tips and steps that you can take to implement macros into your life today. Hey, friend. Welcome to the podcast where we talk about weight loss a little differently. Not just calories and workouts, but the heart, the habits, and the beliefs behind it all. Because this isn't about just losing weight. It's about becoming the woman God is calling you to be. So if you're tired of starting over, stuck in cycles with food, and ready to invite God into this journey for real change, once and for all, you're in the right place. So let's get into today's episode. The Biblical Weight Loss Framework is here for you. You have just a few more days to save 30% on the framework. That's $150 savings. So if you are ready for more, go to herweightlossmindset.com/framework and enter the code MomsDay2026 to save $150. So, 1 Corinthians 10:31 says, "So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all to the glory of God." So let's not gloss over this verse. I haven't read this one in a while. We really need to let this one sink in. Like, do you think that God put fruit and potatoes and rice and grains on the earth for fun? Like, did he give us cows and animals because they're cute? No. He gave them to us to eat, yet we follow stupid keto diets and eat boxed garbage out of the middle of the store because we become lazy. We want fast and cheap and easy. I've been reading the Bible every day for a decade, and I've never one time read where life is supposed to be cheap, fast, or easy. Have you? I don't think so. Okay, so what are macros? We haven't been here in a while, so I need you to stay with me. A refresher is always good. So our food is basically broken down into 3 macros or macronutrients. Macros are the nutrients that your body needs most, which come from protein, carbs, and fat. And each one of these macros matter because it plays a part in reaching your goals no matter how old you are, but especially for us ladies over 40. So protein is the first one we're going to talk about. Protein is critical. Why? Because it supports muscle. It keeps you full. It stabilizes your blood sugar and supports your metabolism. Every single woman that I have ever worked with in my life is severely under eating protein. I aim for 148 to 174 grams of protein every single day. Listen, this takes time for your body to adjust. So you're going to have to be intentional. You have to plan and prepare. So you can start. When you're starting, you can aim for 120 to 150 grams a day. Most women are going to need more than that, but it is a good starting point since many of you probably are only eating, like I would say, 75 to 80. So start tracking. Start using the free version of MyFitnessPal. You do not need to pay for the upgrade, okay? See how many calories you're taking in and where they come from. Keep a food journal for a few weeks. Depending on your body size, your goals, your age, every person's macros will be different. Never, ever follow someone else's macro counts. This is not safe, even if they're a similar body size to you. Like, these are things that we uncover in the Biblical Weight Loss Framework. This is a specific to you macro plan that works based on your goals, current numbers, etc. So, where do we get protein from? Chicken, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, turkey, tuna, protein shakes, lean meats. You can eat tofu, but tofu is not a complete protein source. So you need to build that in with other foods, okay? And that shouldn't be your main focus if you're trying to eat, all the protein. Like, it's made of soy, and our soy is very processed and can be highly full of pesticides, and just be very careful with that. So the next macro we're going to talk about is carbohydrates or carbs. Carbs get a bad rap, man. But I want to tell you right now, carbs are not evil. Carbs are your friend. Your brain needs carbohydrates. Your body uses carbohydrates for energy. These are vital to reaching your weight loss goals, ladies. They you need carbs at breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, and dinner. Okay? So, where do we get our carbs from? Potatoes, fruit, rice, veggies, oats, breads, vegetables. Like, I noticed I named vegetables twice because you need to be eating 5 to 6 cups of vegetables every single day, 3 to 4 cups of fruit every single day. Okay? Eat carbs, fiber-filled carbs. All right? The problem that I think the reason, carbs get a bad rap is most people are usually overeating like ultra processed foods that come from the middle of the grocery store or sugary garbage that does anything but move you to your goals. But my carb count, I think, is like 230 grams every single day. So I do like 2 cups of spinach in my eggs, 2 cups of a veggie in my protein shake, and I always aim for at least 1 cup of veggies in my dinner. So that third macro we're going to talk about is fat. Fat is our friend. Healthy fats, that is. Healthy fats support hormone production and function. You need good fat every single day, especially for those of us who are dealing with hormone issues, thyroid, and the like. Okay? These can come from avocado oil, olive oil, nuts, salmon, nut butter. Fat is not the enemy. Okay? Fat is not the enemy. I eat around 70 grams of fat daily. I love me some good fat. So I'm going to share with you a simple macro method that you can use to help you get started. So instead of obsessing over the numbers, I want you to think about your plate. So you're going to use not your biggest plate, but your smallest plate. And at each meal, you're going to look at your palm and you're going to eat that size of protein. Or if you have a scale, weigh it. You really want to aim for 6 to 8, 10 ounces of protein at dinner. All right. So if you measure it on a food scale, then you can kind of get a visual of it. Now, your body can only process about 40 grams of carbs per meal. So really aiming for that 25 to 35 is better. But if you need a little bit more for dinner, try to figure out a way that you can get that in through the day. But really 6 to 8 ounces of protein is going to be a good place to start. And then if you make a fist, that's going to be the size of your carb. And then a healthy fat, you really want to focus on like a 1/4 cup total per day. If you're thinking avocado, cheese, nuts, that kind of thing. And then measuring in teaspoons for your nut butters, your butter, that kind of thing. So then again, you have your 1 cup of veggies and your 1 cup of fruit. So just making that plate it method alone, it's dramatically going to improve your weight loss. And think again, 4 to 5 meals to get started. So here is an example that you can implement for breakfast or for your meals for the day. So at breakfast, think 3 to 4 eggs, a piece of turkey sausage, and then also 1 cup of berries with a piece of whole grain toast with a teaspoon of real butter. For lunch, you can make chicken salad with a 1/2 cup of potatoes or quinoa or black beans, and then add in a cup of vegetables. And then your snack, you can do Greek yogurt with honey and fruit, or a protein shake, add a banana, 2 cups of spinach. You can't taste it, I promise. All right. And then dinner, maybe salmon, rice, a cup of green beans. So food is not morally good or bad, right? Can we agree on that? Like, we don't need to fear carbs. We don't need to earn our meals. Learning nutrition is wisdom, not obsession. Like Proverbs 9:10 says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. So let the Spirit speak to you on these matters. He will settle your worry. This is where the weight loss happens, but you have to be consistent. Nailing your protein goal and then skipping your protein goal for 2 days is not going to get you to your goals. You have to have a plan. This takes intentional time, sitting down, knowing what you need, what your body needs, and logging it. It takes 5 to 10 minutes every single day. You scroll on social media for more than that, so use your time more wisely. Okay? I love you. All right, so this week's action item is you're going to build your balanced meals, prioritizing protein, and stop labeling foods as good or bad. Got it? All right, you can do it. Holy Lord, thank you for the food that you put on this beautiful earth. Thank you for farmers who sow and reap the harvest. Jesus, help me approach food with wisdom instead of fear. I have a lot to learn here, Lord. Will you please soften my heart as I learn a new way to fuel my body? I'm nervous, Father, but I trust you more than what the world teaches. Teach me balance and stewardship as I start to fuel my body the right way, and free me from confusion and diet culture. I am so tired of being hungry and of fearing the food that you put on the earth. Help me to live a life of balance and gratitude for this body that you have blessed me with. Help me to nourish her and love her as she deserves. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Beloved, this isn't about doing everything perfectly, okay? This is about becoming consistent in the things that actually matter. Waking up, spending time with the Lord in prayer and in the Word. So don't just walk away from this episode inspired. Walk away making a decision to start every day with Jesus. What is one thing that you're going to do differently today? Just start there. And if this episode spoke to you, share it with a friend who needs it too, because you are not the only one who's walking through this. And if you would you go to Apple Podcasts and leave me a review? It helps me to know that these messages are encouraging you. Please know that I am here cheering you on. I am praying for you. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, just shoot me an email to info@herweightlossmindset.com and let's talk about how we can work through your personal journey. And I will see you back here for the next episode. God bless.